So hello, friends. We have a special guest on. So again, welcome to my channel, Nicole Scotto and Your Sparkle. You'll be finding this video all over YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook. And today we have a very special guest all the way from Florida, Kat Garza. And
I'm Nashville.
Oh, you're in Nashville. Nashville. My apologies, Nashville. I was thinking there's so many people in Florida lately that's been coming my way. I was like, everyone's from Florida, but no, Nashville. Thank you for that. And Kat, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So we met on social media. That's the one beauty about social media. And we got to really know each other and a little bit about our background. She's part of the Gorgeous Gray movement and really just like owning her natural beauty. And I wanted to interview her today. So again, to inspire you women who are sitting on the fence or figuring out what to do with that demarcation COVID line that everybody seems to be showing up with. So Kat, why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are? Because you have a few kids and you're a mom.
I do have a few kids. I have 7. I have 6 girls and 1 boy. Yeah. So, and I live in Nashville. Of course, they're all grown. And it's just been a really busy time in my life when, raising children. But like I said, they're grown. I have 6 grandchildren as well.
Wow. So amazing. And so you decided at what age to stop dyeing your hair and just own your natural color? Yeah, tell us about that. Like at what point in your life did you say no more?
Well, I was about 9 years ago, because I'm 65 now, and I was about 57, 56, right in there. And what started it really was watching Cindy Joseph. She kind of entered the scene with modeling ads, and I thought, oh my goodness, who's that beautiful woman? First, I'd never seen a model that was older. All models were very young, and then her gorgeous gray hair. And I thought, I really want to do that. So I did a really short pixie cut, and back then I felt like I was on an island by myself. There wasn't anybody doing that except Cindy, who I'd seen. Yeah. So I went through a lot of stuff. I had to really dig deep because I was finding out who I was. It really was more about what was going on inside than it was on my hair. So yeah, it was quite a transition. And of course the grow out part was hard. If I had to do it over again, I probably, because it's so popular now, would leave my length and just have fun with it and, own it.
Yeah, and own it, right? So yeah,
right.
So your decision then was to go pixie cut and then just grow it out again. Yeah.
Right.
And so do you want to dive in a little bit about the transformation, like what it meant for you to go through that? Do you want to go there with our audience?
My life, oh gosh, I was thinking today, because I knew I was getting ready for this, I'm told now that I'm beautiful, but yet growing up, I never heard it. My mother was beautiful. My dad was handsome, but I think they were from a generation that, well, we don't want to give our kids, we don't want their heads to get too big or something. And I remember growing up thinking, I can't wait till I get married so I can have a husband that tells me I'm beautiful. Then I got into a relationship that was quite toxic, a lot of abuse, mostly emotional abuse. Got involved with some churches, things like that. I just surrounded myself with some toxic people. A lot of it was just my own choice. So when I made the decision to embrace my natural hair, a lot of it had to do with, I just want to be true to myself. So I really had to think about what that meant and set boundaries. I set boundaries for people. I set boundaries I could learn to say no for the first time in my life. So a lot transformed than just my hair. It's like I became a different person. And that marriage ended. So then I had to learn some things about myself as a single woman, and that I could do it and that I could be something. And then it was a funny thing began to happen along the way, especially with the hair. I started getting compliments from, first it was men, which surprised me. They would just walk up to me, random men, and say, oh my goodness, your hair's so beautiful. And I'd think, really? And then I started hearing it from women. I wish I could do that. I wish I was brave enough to do that. And you're so beautiful. And do you model? And I used to think, what? Because I'd never heard those things before, ever. So a lot of things began to change. And then someone entered my life. His name is Bob, and he just bolstered me up and kept telling me things about myself that I'd never heard. And so it's just been a really fun last 10 years, I guess.
Amazing. And so let's talk about modeling. People were asking you if you were a model.
I would
And
say
then
no.
what happened?
Well, it was actually about a year ago, about this time, we were with some friends and he looked across the table and said, "Why are you modeling?" And I'd never heard, I think, I keep hearing that, but me, so I thought, well, I'm just going to look into it locally. So I looked Nashville first and I sent in some pictures, and the very next day they called me and said, "Would you please come in?" And they signed me that day. And so then from there, it was just earlier this year, January, actually, I reached out to an agency in Atlanta and went over and they signed me. So it's been fun.
Wow, who would have ever thought, right?
Right.
As a woman, which is our biggest fear
Gray
of
hair,
what will we look like? And
gray
here you
hair,
are with the modeling.
yeah. Yep.
Amazing, and congratulations.
Well,
That's
thanks.
just incredible, right? I always say that magic happens outside of our comfort zone, and we don't
Right.
know what that will look like. But from what I have experienced in my life, and I teach my kids this all the time, we got to get uncomfortable and just watch the beauty unfold. And that's exactly what you did.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
good. I love it. Any tips for women who are watching this that are like, I want to do it, but I'm scared that my partner won't support me. I
Hmm.
want to do it, but I'm scared I'm going to look older than my age. Like those are kind of like the two, is the support and like looking old and, what do they call it? Just like frumpy and not put together. What?
It's interesting that men look distinguished, but women are called frumpy, and we've let ourselves go. And there's just so many ways we can go with this, because obviously, people say, well, I don't want to look old. Well, if you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 and your hair is gray, then obviously we're old enough to have gray hair. We just choose to cover it because society has told us we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got 6 children, 6 daughters, one boy, but 6 daughters, and I didn't do right by them for years. I kind of fell into that same mindset of, you got to look this way, you got to do that, don't do this, don't do that. And sadly, we've been told by Hollywood that we have to look a certain way. And yet all of our lives as women, we're also told, march to your own beat and be true to yourself and do your own thing and do what feels right, except when it comes to beauty. Then we're told, oh no, you got to, pluck this and tuck that and fix that and color that. And, that's one thing I did love about Cindy Joseph's message, was to pro-age rather than putting on things that are anti-aging. We can't help but get older. Time is marching on. There's nothing we can do to stop it. So why not own it? Wherever you are, whatever you have on your face, whatever blemishes you have, and just enjoy life and be true to yourself. So I'm on several Facebook groups of women who are transitioning, and over and over and over, they show their before and after picture. And I don't ever see anybody that looks older or worse. They usually look younger, brighter. They're smiling more. There's just something about the hair matching the face. It's just, I see it over and over again.
Yeah.
And what's fun is that
Mm-hmm.
all of our hair is going to be different. I know people are using see what their hair will look like.
Yeah.
And an app won't show you the depth of color and the different. Mine is even changing. In the many years, it was more salt and pepper, and it's getting lighter and brighter, and it's constantly changing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and the other thing too, that I'm a holistic nutritionist, and we've been talking back and forth because I know how far you go every day for your health. Can you talk about, because I think part of taking care of us in a more natural and organic way is, it's not just about getting rid of the hair dye, but it's about like taking care of our physical body. Can you just share a little bit about what you do every day to just match your natural beauty so that you feel good and strong, right? Because that's what I'm all about, right? This is only a part of being healthy, is getting rid of the dyes, but there's so many other things. And I know that you're you're 65. Oh my gosh, like you look so awesome and amazing. And I think all women want to age in a graceful way. And not that we want to look 30, but I tell you, it's how we feel inside. So how do you take care of your insides?
Yeah. Well, back in the 70s when I was quite young, somebody gave me a cookbook because they knew I loved to cook. Cooking runs in my family. We just love it. My mother was a great cook, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. But it was a book about healthy eating and holistic eating, and I'd never seen that before. While my mother made everything homemade, there were still lots of processed flours and sugars and things like that, because it was just homemade food. So my children have often teased me that I was like the original Earth mom, because even back then I ate health food when everybody else was eating regular food, whatever that was. But
Yeah.
I tried for a long time to eat healthy, to cut out processed foods, lots of sugar, make a lot of things homemade. But even with that, when I was 44, so 1999, I had a seizure one night and had a massive brain tumor. It was the size of a man's fist.
Wow.
And that was quite shocking to me. How did I get that? I've been eating healthy all these years. It's just one of those things. But since that point, that was another process of me thinking, maybe I don't want dye on my hair. Of course, it took me a few years to get past that.
Yeah.
A little change in story though. Right after my brain tumor, I found out I was pregnant, and
Wow.
I had doctors telling me maybe you should consider terminating your pregnancy, and I just couldn't do it. So at age 45, I had my last daughter, and that was probably the best thing that could have happened to me, because it forced me again mentally to get back into life, not give in to that, oh no, you've had a brain tumor, you've been on heavy medication. And of course, she's a healthy, wonderful, almost 21-year-old now. So, but just recently I've started having some issues and found out that I've got some gluten intolerance. So I'm kind of joining on that bandwagon with everybody,
Yeah.
and feeling much, much better. Making sure I drink a lot of water. I try to use products. Of course, our largest organ in our body is our skin.
Yeah.
So really important what we put on our skin, making sure that you don't have a lot of chemicals in your, skincare products. So yeah, I try to eat right. Try to not eat a lot of desserts, and if I do, I try to make things with stevia or honey or things like that. But
yeah. Awesome. So how can people follow you and be inspired by your healthy lifestyle and all of your pictures and your modeling stuff?
Well, my Instagram is the number one, Kat Garza. And then I've got a page on Facebook just called Life with Kat Garza. I'm starting to post more recipes, and it was about food before, but now I think I want to do some other things. We just built a greenhouse, so I'm enjoying, lots of fresh herbs and vegetables in that.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. I love interviewing women. I think that more and more women need to come forward and share their story and give other women hope that, color of our hair does not define who we are at all. And I love how we're changing the story so that everybody can just be okay in their natural beauty. And I just want to say thank you for your time, and I can't wait to get this message out to the world.